Hello guys, my name is Nikita. I'm at the moment in my studio in London, which you actually haven't seen before because all the videos I've been posting so far were from about a year ago or 2 years ago, so this is my relatively new studio which I've been using since 7-8 months ago. And today is gonna be a slightly different video from my typical videos because I'm not gonna be painting in this video. Today I'm gonna teach you how to make a frame like this, and stretch a canvas on it and prepare it fully so you're ready to paint on it. So for example, this is one of my paintings, so it's also a wooden frame, canvas over it, all sized, primed. I'm gonna teach you how to do that. Don't be afraid, it's not a difficult process. It's pretty straightforward, and I'm gonna show you all the steps which I actually take in order to make my paintings. Also, not every artist uses the same process all the time. Some people prefer doing frames different ways. I do it this way because it's efficient, I like working with wood, and it's actually quite cheap. So basically I've cut 4 pieces of wood, and I want to have a frame 71 centimeters by 64 centimeters, but because this piece is adjacent to that piece, I'm gonna have to deduct 4 centimeters because I'm gonna deduct 2 widths of this piece of wood. So yeah, how I'm gonna connect them? First of all, you gotta be very careful with the angle, because I've been having a lot of problems with missing out on the angle when building frames, and I double check 100 times throughout the process. I use a ruler like this, and I always keep it between all the processes. I'm gonna put the glue on the pieces of wood, then I'm gonna staple them from top and bottom to stabilize them, then I'm gonna put a nail and 2 screws inside. So now I'm gonna build the inside of the frame, the supporting part which is gonna hold the force which is going from the canvas. Basically you don't need to use the strongest wood for this part. Of course it depends from the size. The bigger you go, the stronger your support has to be. For quite a small painting, like I would use just 1 by 1. Very important thing which I didn't mention is that if canvas is gonna be on this side, you gotta have to make sure that you're gonna leave some space between the canvas and the wood, because when you paint, the canvas bends a little and it touches the wood, and if it touches the wood, you're gonna have the line. So you should try to push the supporting planks as back as possible to give as much space. And also you gotta have to trim the edges. Well, you don't have to, but always do, because it also minimizes the probability of getting the wood touched by canvas. So you trim the edges with the knife. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna trim the edges here. What my goal is to have the canvas touched only by the very edge, and we're gonna have like a triangle. So now I'm gonna be stretching the canvas. I'm using the regular cotton canvas. You can buy it either in art store or in the fabric shops. You can also buy linen, but it's more expensive, but it's finer and considered to be a better quality for paintings. But honestly, cotton canvas works very good for me. I've been using it for my practice forever. When cutting the canvas, you gotta leave a bit of space around the edge, so you have enough canvas to like wrap it around from all sides. And basically what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a staple gun and I'm gonna start stretching it. At first I'm gonna stretch the center, and you should always try to stretch as much as you can. Keep the tension going. Keep the tension. Put over and staple. Every staple which follows the centered staple, you're gonna have to use a special technique in order to keep the tension going that way and that way as well, so you don't get the wrinkles. If you wanna put a staple on this side, then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put the tension here, try to grab a dent, pull it as much as I can, then I'm gonna take this side, pull it over. Then once I've put some tension on here, I can release this hand, grab the canvas and staple. Once again, tension, pull it over and staple. At this point I did most of the stretching, and basically these two sides are fully stretched, but these two sides have a bit of empty space, and they have that empty space because now I'm gonna use it to make corners. This is the corner, and the way I'm gonna stretch it, I'm gonna put this part underneath and put this over. So how you do it? You grab this bit of canvas, then you grab this one, so you have this flop. Then you have to take this part and fold it. The important part is that when you stretch it, it should align with the overside. If it's too much, you push the canvas a bit more and then flop it. If it's too little, you push it out, as long as you understand the fold. So again, like that, fold over and then stretch. This part is a bit too much, so I'm gonna push the canvas a bit more, and then you put it like that. put one staple and then stretch the rest of the canvas into its place. The sign of a good fold is when you have a triangle on the outer side and the inner side of the fold is nicely aligned with the edge. Nothing is poking out, no fabric, and everything should be nice and cleanly packed. So now we're gonna have the last step of our process, which is gonna be sizing of the canvas. We're gonna apply a couple of thin layers of a specific glue called rabbit skin glue. It looks like this, and you can buy it in any art store. Essentially, we're gonna have to prepare this glue. First step of preparing is you're gonna have to soak it in water like that. I typically use around the ratio of 1 to 10, and you gotta soak it at least 3-4 hours, because otherwise if you don't soak it enough it's not gonna melt into glue properly. But ideally I soak it for about a day or two, but also you cannot keep it too long as well, because it's gonna start rotting and it's gonna start stinking. And also when I soak it, I recommend soaking it in the fridge. To cook it, you're gonna have to add some water, put it in a pan on the stove, and then I'm adding my soaked up rabbit skin glue, and essentially you have to continuously stir it while it heats up, but the most important part, you do not let it boil, because if it boils it loses all the gluing properties and you can throw it into the bin. You know that the glue is ready when you can dip your finger and it becomes a bit too hot to hold it in, but not hot enough to burn it. In general, I apply between 2 to 3 layers of rabbit skin glue per canvas. Also, if you want, you can mix rabbit skin glue with a bit of gesso to give it a bit of color, or like acrylic. I do that sometimes, but generally just rabbit skin glue prepares canvas wonderfully and can pretty much work on it straight with oils. That's pretty much everything for today's video. I really hope you learned something. I really hope you got some cool tips and tricks to make your own canvases. Happy painting, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.